I'm Hannah Moldavan, Deputy Communications Director for the Democrats, and your host for today. It's Wednesday, July 16th, and this is the Democrats' Daily Blueprint. Last week, the Trump administration was exposed for messing with Social Security. First, they sent an email out to almost every person who receives Social Security, falsely claiming that the Republican budget bill eliminates taxes on Social Security. Putting aside the blatant politics of sending this unsolicited email to seniors in America, the claim is a downright lie. Their mega bill does not eliminate taxes on Social Security. And second, the Washington Post exposed how the Social Security Administration pulled about 1,000 employees from its regional field offices in order to handle the overwhelming demand on the phones. Now, this is their attempt at a Band-Aid solution to the problem they created in the first place. You see, Trump and DOJ have been cutting the agency to the bone, pushing out federal employees who do the thankless job of answering questions, processing claims, and providing customer service to seniors. Shifting remaining employees to answer the national hotline shows the Trump administration has no idea what it's doing, or worse, it's trying to cover up how they screwed up Social Security by gutting key functions at the agency. And by the way, this is the national phone line that DOJ tried to make cuts to before a public outcry forced them to backtrack. So why does all of this matter? It's because it means that Republicans are trying to have it both ways, claiming to stand up for seniors and Social Security while ramming through decisions that amount to a backdoor cut, whether it's increased wait times, delays to service, or a website that crashes due to demand. So to help break it all down and explain how Democrats are fighting back, today we have a very special guest on the Daily Blueprint, the 17th Commissioner of the Social Security Administration and former Governor of Maryland, Martin O'Malley. Commissioner O'Malley, thank you for joining us today.
Hey, my pleasure, Hannah. Thank you.
Now, I want to start with the insane news that the Trump administration sent unsolicited email to Social Security recipients and is pulling staff to answer national phones. So what's your reaction to these revelations?
Yep. Well, first of all, this agency has never missed a payment in 90 years and the last I checked, the second most trusted brand in the federal government, second only to the National Park Service. And what we've seen the Trump administration doing is not only attacking this agency's reputation and the reputation of this trusted program with their big lies, but also wrecking its customer service and stealing our personal data. And this latest one is kind of not a twofer, but a threefer. Does that make it a hat trick? The fact that they have been so blatantly using the agency to push the falsehood, the lie that they have, cut taxes for all Social Security beneficiaries is really a bold stroke, considering how hard they're working to ruin its reputation. And let's go to the second part, the gutting of the agency. The DOJ team, unleashed by Donald Trump, has cut more staff from Social Security in a shorter period of time than ever before in the agency. And therefore, what we're seeing after President Biden's administration got things moving in the right direction, we're seeing all of the wait times spike. They're not pulling people out of already depleted field offices to put them on the 1-800 number because everything's going great. They're doing that because they have been wrecking the agency's ability to serve the customers. I don't think this is merely arrogance and hubris. I think they have their eyes on the $2.7 trillion surplus, and therefore they know that they have to undermine trust in the agency and they have to wreck its customer service before they can rob it.
You clearly know a lot about the Social Security Administration. Your successor came in and apparently had to Google his role. There's even audio of him bragging about it. I want to play that audio for us.
And I'm really not, I swear I'm not looking for a job. And I'm like, well, what am I going to do? So I'm Googling Social Security, one of my great skills. I'm one of the great Googlers on the East Coast. But that is the headline for the Post. Great Googler in chief.
So the Trump administration appointed this guy. He didn't even know that this position existed. You mentioned the threefer, the hat trick of the bad things that have happened in just the past 6 months of the Trump administration. I hate to say this, You said this was a nonpartisan commission or position, but what has concerned you the most, and what concerns you the most about all of these cuts and attacks moving forward?
Yeah, well, first of all, I mean, every president, according to the latest interpretation of by the Supreme Court, has the ability to appoint their own Social Security commissioner. But this has been an agency and that has always enjoyed broad bipartisan support, and for that reason, we frequently say it's an independent agency. And in 1992, there were some things that passed by Congress that made it even more independent. No longer part of health, education, and welfare, but its own standalone agency, which makes sense considering the fact that its budget really, for the most part, does not come out of the regular federal budget. It comes from the Social Security Trust Fund, which you and I and everybody else working in America has contributed to. So what we've seen happening now is this agency has been not only gutted, but we've also seen the stealing of our personal data, and now we see the stealing of its reputation to make it a propaganda tool for the Trump administration and whatever its big lie du jour of the day is. In this case, they were lying about provision supposedly in what I call the Bankrupting America bill, what you referred to as the mega bill. Make no mistake about it, there are huge tax cuts in this bill for the wealthiest, super wealthy Americans, millionaires and billionaires. But this bill actually advances the depletion date forward for Social Security and only puts a temporary few pennies giveaway in terms of deductions to some seniors who do pay taxes on their Social Security benefits. So I believe that there's a bigger ulterior motive here, though, Hannah, because Social Security is the only agency that actually maintains a $2.6 trillion surplus. And I do believe that Donald Trump wants his hands on that surplus. And for that reason, I believe he is on his way to cratering this agency, precipitating an emergency that will then allow him to say, oh, I've got to do lump sum payments of the dollars that remain, this broken Democratic program. So we can't buy it. So I've been pushing back, and we've been doing town halls all across the country, ringing the alarm bell. And the public is aware. The democracy's woken up to the threat to their Social Security benefits. We're seeing big crowds and talking to members of Congress, actually in both parties. The phones are ringing off the hook with people saying, those are my dollars. That's my benefit. I've earned it. Keep Donald Trump's hands off of my Social Security.
I think that's great. And you just named the Trump playbook, which is manufacture a crisis and then say he solved it. But it's truly all just lies. Now, Commissioner, I want to play this clip from this hearing. You're no stranger to Republicans acting in bad faith, specifically Donald Trump, as we mentioned. Earlier this year in January, you testified before Congress, and you even brought your own poster boards when these Republicans tried to lie to you. I want to play this clip really quickly.
It shows in December 2023 a parking lot almost completely devoid of workers.
Yes, it's right behind you, and I hope the camera catches it, because that was before I got to the agency. This is a picture of that same parking lot after I got to the agency.
Okay.
I love this exchange. I come from Capitol Hill, where you see a lot of witnesses come forward, and they're not necessarily prepared, and especially with Republicans when they come with lies. You were ready for this moment, and I'm excited to get to ask you about it. Can you tell us a little bit about how you thought about preparing for this when you know Republicans knew they were going to lie, and how Democrats can start thinking about going on offense when it comes to tackling some of these lies and misinformation?
Sure. Well, this was not my first time at the rodeo, though. The person asking the questions, this might have been the first time he had focused for more than 2 minutes on Social Security. That hearing, actually, I'd been promoted to the rank of full-fledged citizen. I'd been out of the agency for 2 months, but they wanted to have a hearing about the fact that at Social Security, just like every other business now post-COVID, people do work, through telework. Social Security back under President Obama was asked to become a lead agency in making all of their workloads portable. That is, those that they could process those claims from anywhere that they could get secure internet access on their own Social Security laptop. So they were, and fortunately they did that, Hannah, because if they hadn't under President Obama, there's no way through the evacuation that was the pandemic, they would have been able to keep those checks being deposited all through COVID. So they love to talk about federal employees being fat, happy, lazy, dialing it in from their couches. And I'd already seen in another hearing that they had a picture of the empty parking lot at headquarters, but I changed that as soon as I was confirmed. And so that's why I was prepared with that picture. But as a former trial attorney, I can tell you that the best way to prepare is to be master of your facts. And I gave everything I had to that agency when the president sent me there. And I loved working with the hardworking men and women of Social Security. And so that's how I was prepared for their moment. It's one of their big lies that the agency is wasteful, bloated, lazy. The truth is, if you compare the efficiency of Social Security to any other big insurance company, Social Security operates on less than 1% overhead for benefits paid. Allstate operates on 19% overhead. The Liberty Mutual, Liberty Biberty operates on 23% overhead. So I'm proud of this agency, and I was glad to be able to defend their honor in that particular hearing.
It was an incredible moment. I'm bringing the facts. I absolutely love that. You can tell you're a trial attorney there. And this is the idea of Democrats being on offense right now. I want to turn to the idea of the response of Democrats to Donald Trump. 21 Democratic attorneys general filed an amicus brief in support of a challenge to the Trump administration's changes to Social Security. I want to play a quick clip from Arizona Attorney General Kris Mayes talking about her taking matters into her own hands.
Attorney General Mayes is now urging Arizona residents to report to her office any problems they are having accessing their Social Security benefits amid the Trump administration's efforts to gut that agency and what it provides. Her office has launched a new website where Arizonans can go to report any problems they are experiencing with Social Security.
Now, Commissioner, you served before you were commissioner as mayor of Baltimore and a two-term governor of Maryland. So when you think about how Democratic officials, from attorneys general to state and local leaders, should be fighting the Trump administration's relentless attacks on our services and rights, what would you say? What advice would you have to give to these leaders of all different levels across the country?
I've been busy for these last several months, Hannah, with a group of people who probably collectively have hundreds of years of experience in Social Security. Many of them were actually, either fired from the agency, forced to resign, or resign themselves because they could not, do the things they were being ordered to do, which they believed to be illegal, like sharing our personal data. So I think it's great, though, what the attorneys general are doing. I've been not only speaking to members of Congress, but also to Democratic attorneys general. And there clearly, I think, needs to be a litigation strategy here. There may also be even a role for plaintiff's attorney. I mean, could you imagine the size of that class action? 73 million people receiving benefits when those benefits get interrupted. So I think that's awesome what the Attorney General of Arizona is doing. And we need to, what we've seen is that if we elevate the public pushback that the Trump administration experiences, if we turn on the lights when the burglar is breaking into the house, they tend to run away. And hopefully that's what these attorneys general can do, and others. It's legislation, legislative oversight, litigation, and organization. And we need to be on the offensive, especially when it comes to Social Security. I mean, this should be the hill that Democrats are willing to fight and die upon. Social Security speaks to the best in the American character, our belief in the dignity of every person, our belief in the common good we share, and our commitment to the vision that no senior should die in poverty when they've worked their whole life, that no person who becomes disabled should have to give away their children or live under a bridge or go panhandle for their daily bread. So Social Security is the through line, and we Democrats need to be aggressive and on the offensive when it comes to protecting Social Security.
Commissioner, your wisdom, your leadership, especially when it comes to this issue, is fantastic. We really appreciate you coming on today. Is there anything that Democrats watching, Americans watching should know besides paying attention, talking about the facts, fighting back? Anything you wanna end us with?
Sure. Let me end with this. I have a website. It's called Win Back Our Country, and I've done my very best there, Hannah, to outline in succinct, plain language the truthful rebuttal to the big lies that Donald Trump has been telling about Social Security. We all heard him and Elon Musk, the former co-president, talk about millions and millions of dead people receiving Social Security checks. It's not true. They say that illegal immigrants are getting Social Security and driving it into bankruptcy. Also totally untrue. So I've outlined all of these because what I've found in the town halls is that most of the people are coming so that they can be armed with the truth, so that they can go back to their own tables of democracy in their family homes or in their workplaces to defend Social Security with the facts and with the truth. So if you Google Martin O'Malley, Win Back Our Country, you'll find it outlined there, and I hope it's helpful to people.
Commissioner, thank you so much. That does it for this episode of the Daily Blueprint. I want to thank you again for joining us. And remember that you can catch us right here every day at 10 a.m. Eastern on the DNC's YouTube page. Thanks.